everyone. Welcome to another episode of Thoughts on Education. Today we have Dr. Gurkirat Singh from Sudha Rustagi College of Dental Sciences and Research with us. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much, Shubhangi. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, sir. So, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit for our viewers?
I'm Dr. Gurkirat Singh. I am the professor and head at the Department of Orthodontics, Sudha Rustagi Dental College at Faridabad. And I've been associated with this institution for the past 16 years. And this institution has been in place for about 19 years. We have an intake of 100 BDS students and approximately 27, 28 MDS students every year. We are providing postgraduate education in 5 of these 7 branches. And I think we are among the top dental education institutions in at least North India.
Okay. So, sir, you have held various positions throughout your career. What is the key term that keep you specific, attached to the education industry?
The young minds keep you engrossed, and they keep that, the fire going. Whereas if you are on your own, you tend to get stagnated. And an education institution keeps you up to date because you are learning while teaching, and sometimes you are learning to teach. So it goes both ways. And any institution which gives you some amount of freedom as a department or as to grow personally also is always a great institution, and that is what this institution at Sudha Rustagi College of Dental Sciences and Research has provided to not just the students but to the faculty as well. The freedom to do things differently.
Wow, sir, that's nice. And so, what's your leadership style? How would you describe it to the viewers?
Pardon me?
So,
I
what's
didn't
your
get that.
leadership style?
Oh, I personally feel that, leadership is about providing direction.
Okay.
It's not that you have to be at the front of everything. You have to delegate duties, and then duties need to be, unless you trust somebody, why would they work for you?
Exactly.
So leadership is all about delegating duties and giving them just a point source that they should be headed in the right direction. And that's what any management or any leader should actually do, is provide the direction, and then the execution is on the subordinates and the team. So I prefer a team rather than being an individualistic person.
Wow, sir, that was really nice from you. So, sir, when you came to the university, you must have some vision in your mind. Has it evolved over time, or is it the same?
See, whenever you join any organization, you have to be very practical that there are certain reasons you join. Initially in your career, it could be financial, or it could be that it is accessible. But in the long run, you stick to an institution only if you are in the comfort zone. It should be a pleasure going to work, and not like that it should be a burden going to work. So as long as the pleasure remains, and that pleasure can be, different for everybody. The pleasure can be that you're learning new things. It could be the habit of teaching or conducting lectures. It could be the kick of writing an article. So any good teaching institution actually provides you all these facilities. It is for you to take the benefits from them. And that, unfortunately for me, I have managed to do. So I have a textbook to my credit. I have over 100 publications to my credit. I have 12 batches of postgraduates who have done their post-graduation with us. So it's been a mutual pleasure. So it's always good if you grow with the institution and the institution encourages you to grow. So that's exactly what's happened to me here, at least. Thank you so much.
Yes, fine, sir. And so, what do you think should be the university's next priority for the next few years?
See, any institution today is facing 2 challenges. One, because of COVID.
Cool.
The physical contact of patients as well as students is suddenly become a bit difficult. And the other one is of finances, because unless you have financial backing, it's very difficult to run such huge institutions. We have a teaching faculty of about 90 staff members, plus grade 3, grade 4 employees, maintaining a big campus. It doesn't come cheap. So yes, they will need to focus and fund a lot of research, but I think the direction is going to be digitization. So dentistry is going to go digital, as is education, and I'm sure that we are on the right track. We are doing this interview through Zoom. I mean, so that is digitization. So
I
same
see.
as with this institution, they are going to be doing the same thing.
And sir, how is your relationship with the students of your college?
They are students. I call them my children because my kids are the same age. So sometimes you are giving them personal advice, sometimes you are giving them academic advice, sometimes you are giving them job advice. So you are more like a counselor rather than, you see, people are underestimating the effect of COVID. People are looking at death rates, people are looking at infection, but there is a big psychological impact also on the younger generation in particular, because the older generation is still closer to God. The younger generation is on their own 2 feet and they don't like to get advice. But I think the younger generation is going to be in need of a lot of counseling. Not that adults are not going to be, but there is a big psychological impact of the disease which is still being underrated, especially in our society. Because Indians don't, they consider a psychologist as a shrinko. The word that they associate is not great. But I think we all need some amount of counseling and prep talks. And yeah, I think we will come out of it with flying colors. We're pretty good at it.
So I think that was nice because you added a different dimension to it. The COVID that we have been going through, this is something different, but I think psychological is something that we should concentrate on the next few years. Because
absolutely,
that's
it's gonna take.
Yeah.
It is actually gonna take years to come out of the psychological impact. Just think about it. If you wanted to get married during this time, and you can't communicate, you can't meet physically, you don't know how to react.
Exactly.
You can't just see photographs and get married. I mean, you're going back 100 years.
True. Yes, sir. And sir, are there any placement opportunities present for the students?
Yes, in our college, we have a couple of companies which come regularly every year. So some of them are into dental chains. Some of them are doing some other associated work, back-end work for other medical fraternities, and they prefer dentists. And I think this year they have got 2 more dental equipment companies which are actually hunting for dentists to give them advice and to test their products as well. So we do get a lot of queries out of that. But majority, I think, still the dentist is on his own, so they end up opening their own practices.
Okay. And sir, last but not the least, any advice or any suggestions for the younger society?
The youngsters in the profession, I want to say only one thing. Everybody, whoever is trying to get into dentistry, everybody tells them that it's a saturated field, it's not doing too well. They are very negative towards the profession. But trust me, there is always dearth of good dentists at the top. So it depends where you want to be. You want to be at the ground level doing menial work and below quality work, or you actually want to be a high-end, great quality dentist. So if you want to be in the latter category, if you want to be a good quality worker, ethical worker, then there is a lot of scope in this field still. Lots of cities, including Delhi, are still not saturated in terms of quality practitioners. So if you think that you can do it, yes, it takes time to establish yourself. But then when you get into a dental or a medical field, you know that you're not going to become a crorepati overnight. So it's a lot of hard work. But if you don't mind doing hard work, I think this is the field for you, because it lets you think and work with your hands. So you're using not just your brain, you're also using your hands, which can be artistic. So it is very satisfying from both ends. This is art and science of dentistry. The definition goes art and science. So just think about it. You can be a painter, you can be a carver, you can be a mechanic, and yet be a dentist. Just think about it.
Wow, sir. That was insightful. So, sir, from College Dunia and Shubhangi Pant, that was the end. If you have something else, it's a welcome from your end.
Thank you so much, Shubhangi. That was a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.